Hello, my name is Maria Martinez-Richardson, and thank you for taking the time to view my Educational Leadership Action Research Project. My research is titled The Decline in Teacher and Support Staff Morale Resulting from Increased Behavior Demands in the Classroom. This project was conducted at Learn Academy, that's also known as Desert Choice Schools, located in Pecan Grove Elementary in Yuma, Arizona. The purpose of my research study was to examine how increased behavior demands in the classroom impact teacher and instructional support staff morale. In my educational setting, particularly those that serve several students with intense behavioral needs, educators often experience high levels of stress, emotional exhaustion, and job complexity. Understanding how these factors influence staff morale is important for educator leaderships because staff well-being is directly affects student outcome, instructional stability, and teacher retention. The study explores both staff experience and potential leadership strategies that can better support educators working in behavior intense environments. This study focuses on the relationship between the increased classroom behavior demands and staff morale among teachers and the instructional support staff. Over the past several years, educators have reported increased challenges related to student behavior, which has created additional stress and emotional strain in many classroom environments. The purpose of this research is to explore and was to explore how these behavior demands influence the staff morale and the emotional well-being, as well as identifying leadership strategies that may help support education and educators working in those environments. Additionally, the study examines whether behavior demands contribute to staff burnout, emotional exhaustion, or staff and job dissatisfaction. Understanding these relationships is important because teacher morale explains a significant role in staff retention, school climate, and the overall effectiveness of instructions by examining staff experiences and perceptions. This research aims to provide insight that educational leaderships can use better support teachers and improve working conditions in the behavior intense educational setting. Teachers and staff morale is a critical factor in maintaining a stable and supportive learning environment. However, in many schools that serve students with significant behavior needs, educators face frequent behavior incidents that require sustained emotional and professional efforts. Research has shown that the high behavior demands can increase job stress and emotional exhaustion among educators, particularly those working with specialized or behavior intense programs. In these environments, teachers and instructional support staff often manage challenging student behaviors while simultaneously meeting instructional expectations. This study was proposed to better understand how these demands influence staff morale and retention. By examining the experience of educators working directly with students who require behavior support, the research seeks to identify patterns that may inform leadership, practice, and improve staff support systems within schools. Alrighty. Next, we have the problem goals and significance. The central problem explores in this study is that increasing behavior demands in the classroom may contribute to the declined staff morale and high levels of burnout among teachers and instructional support staff. This is behavior technicians, this is paraprofessionals, anybody that works directly with students. The goal of this project was to identify leadership strategies and support systems that could help reduce staff stress while improving morale and professional satisfaction. By bettering understanding the relationship between behavior challenges and staff well-being, school leaders can implement targeted supports that address these concerns. The significance of this research lies in the potential to improve staff retention, strengthen school climate, and promote more supportive work environments for educators. When teachers feel supported and valued, they are more likely to remain in the profession and maintain high levels of commitment required to the student's success. Research questions. This study was guided by 4 questions. First, the study explored how increased behavior demands in the classroom influence teacher and support staff morale. Second, in examining whether there is a relationship between the frequency of the behavior incident and the staff burnout or emotional exhaustion. Third, the research investigated whether the difference existed in morale between novice and veteran teachers working in behavior intense settings. Finally, the study explored how teachers and instructional staff support describe the emotional impact of the ongoing class behavior challenges. The questions help guide the data collection process and provide a framework for analyzing both the quantitative survey response and the qualitative staff reflection. Methodology. This action research study uses a mixed methods approach. In order to gather both the quantitative and the qualitative data from participants, the participants in this study included teachers, instructional support staff who work directly with students with the behavior intense classroom environments. Participants were selected through simply volunteer participation. Data was collected using surveys, observations, and staff reflections. The surveys include both scaled responses, questions, open-ended questions, open-ended questions that allowed staff members to describe their experiences and perception. The mixed methods approach allowed the study to analyze measurable patterns in staff responses while also capturing deeper insight into the emotional and professional experiences of educators working in the setting. Alrighty. Here we have our data. The quantitative surveys data revealed several important patterns regarding staff morale and behavior demands. The participants agreed that increased behavior demands significantly affected their overall morale and job satisfaction. Many responded also indicating that managing frequent behaviors incidents contributed to feelings of emotional exhaustion and feeling within the workplace. This survey results also suggested that while some members feel supported by leadership, additional support systems may be needed to fully address the challenges associated with the behavior intense classrooms. These findings highlight the importance of leadership involvement in providing resources, training, and emotional support for staff who are responsible for managing the complex students' behavior needs. Here we have the qualitative themes. In addition to the survey data, qualitative responses from staff provide the deeper insight into their experiences. Several key themes emerged from the open-ended responses. The first theme was emotional exhaustion, as many staff members described the feeling of overwhelmed when managing repeated behavior incidents throughout the school day. A second theme involved the need for a stronger leadership support. Participants expressed that visible leadership involvement, consistent communication, and the access to resources could help improve staff morale. Another theme focused on job complexity. Educators noted that balancing instructional responsibilities while managing challenging student behaviors can significantly increase workload and stress. Finally, the concerns related to staff retention were also mentioned, with some education indicators that our ongoing behavior challenges can influence long-term job satisfaction. Here we have our conclusions, my findings. Overall, the findings of the study suggest that the increasing behavior demands has a meaningful impact on teacher and support staff morale. Both the quantitative and the qualitative data indicate that frequent behavior incidents contribute to emotional exhaustions and the increased job stress. The result of highlighted that the result as highlighted that educators work in the behavior intense setting often face complex professional responsibilities that extend beyond traditional instructional duties. However, the research also suggests that leadership support, professional development, and structured behavior systems can play an important role in improving staff morale and creating a more supportive work environment for everybody. The findings from the study have several important implications for educational leaderships. First, school leaderships must recognize that the behavior challenges not only affect students, but also significantly impact the well-being of staff responsibilities for supporting them. Leaders should prioritize the development of constant behavioral support systems, providing professional development opportunities focused on behavior management and ensuring that staff members feel supported in their roles. Additionally, leadership visibly and open communications can help create a more collaborative and supportive school culture when educators feel that their concerns are acknowledged and they're addressed. Morale and job satisfaction can improve. We are all one when everybody feels that we are all working together to serve one goal. It kind of makes us all on the same level and makes us work a little bit harder. Some additional questions raised by my research. While this research provided valuable insight into staff experience, it has also raised several additional questions for future investigation. For example, future research could explore how different leadership styles influence staff morale in the behavior-intense educational environments. Additional studies could also examine whether increased professional development in behavior management leads to the increased teacher confidence and reducing stress levels. Another important question involves staff retention, particularly whether strong behavior support systems can help reduce turnover in specialized classroom settings. These additional questions highlight the need for continuing the research and reflecting within the educational leadership projects. An improvement plan, next steps. So based on my findings of this study, several strategies may help improve staff morale and support educators working in the behalf of intense classroom. These strategies include strengthening structured behavior support systems, include leadership presence and communication, and providing targeted professional developments focusing on behavior management. Additionally, implementing regular staff check-ins and opportunities for reflection can help that educators feel supported and more heard. By implementing these strategies, school leaders can create a more supportive work environment that promotes staff well-being while maintaining the high expectations for student success. Dissemination. The findings from this action plan, they'll be shared with school leadership teams, instructional staff, and professional learning communities within the organization. Presenting these findings during the staff meetings or collaborative planning sessions, they can encourage discussions about how behavior demands affect educators and what strategies may help improve staff support. Additionally, sharing these results with direct leaders or other educational professionals may help inform the broader discussions about staff well-being and the leadership practices in the behavior-intense educational setting. Professional growth and goals, leadership and development. So conducting this action research project has contributed significantly to my personal growth as an educator. Working in the school system for almost 10 years now, I've seen such an amazing growth. Moving forward with one of my professional goals is to continue to strengthen leadership practice that supports teacher well-being, promotes positive school culture and encourages collaboration, problem solving. By applying the findings from this research, I hope to contribute to the development of leadership strategies that help educators feel supported, valued, and prepared to address any challenges that they face in today's classroom. In closing, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to review my action plan and my research project. And I appreciate the opportunity to explore the importance of this issue and continuing and contributing to ongoing conversations about teacher support, leadership practices, and staff well-being within the education. Thank you.